Remy and Fat Joe keeping it close. Papoose, angry. It's already done, and nobody had the decency to send out a group text. While Claressa Shields was down in that basement laying absolute hammer fists into a heavy bag, Papoose was already out here in the digital trenches, acting like a grown man trying to crowdfund his self-esteem. But the real price tag he's been hiding? It's got 3 extra zeros stacked behind it, and baby, the math is officially mathing in the worst way possible. Stay locked in, because what just slipped out about Madison Square Garden, Game 3, and a certain $100,000 courtside seat is not the angle you were prepared for. I am not here to sugarcoat a single line item for you. The numbers aren't lining up, the narrative is completely short-circuiting, and the exact same man you've got people defending in the comment section is actively turning himself into a walking, talking punchline on his own timeline. Meanwhile, the undisputed champion down in that basement has zero clue what's actually unfolding upstairs. That is the wild part. She's still posting, still flexing, still screaming that I get whatever I want energy into the void, while he's out here actually getting what he wants off somebody else's tab. Did Remy Ma just pull the ultimate power move right beside Fat Joe? Did Papoose completely lose his mind when the cameras panned? Grab your popcorn and don't move an inch, because we are breaking down every single receipt before the internet tries to wipe the evidence. Let me break this whole scene down for you right now, because the internet is moving at warp speed and most of you completely missed the real plot line while you were busy arguing over Instagram captions. Madison Square Garden just turned into the most expensive crime scene in pop culture history, and nobody is looking at the blood on the floor. The New York Knicks went up 2-0, the city was practically shaking, and ticket prices didn't just go up, they went into another galaxy. Resale market floor seats shot past $100,000 before anybody could even blink. And who do we see right in the center of the storm? Papoose. But pay attention, because this is where the hustle gets completely messy and utterly embarrassing. He didn't call up a high-level plug, he didn't slide into any billionaire DMS, and he didn't even pick up the phone to call Fat Joe. He went straight to his own public page, pitching absolute strangers like he was out here selling bootleg DVDs out of the back of a trunk in 1999. Same worn-out Knicks fitted hat in every single video, same desperate energy, same car seat ranting, talking to the screen like he was sitting on the couch next to Victor Wembanyama himself. That hat has officially gotten more screen time this week than half the hip-hop legends currently living in New York City, and the comment section immediately started doing the high-stakes arithmetic out loud because nobody in his inner circle has the heart to tell him the truth. Papoose is supposed to be a mogul. He is a grown man with a household reputation, tied for years to a multi-million-dollar hip-hop dynasty with Remy Ma, now suddenly running around like he's trying to set up a digital GoFundMe for one single playoff ticket. That is the exact question that broke the entire timeline today. That is the question Claressa Shields should be asking her management right this second, and that is the exact scandal I am about to tear wide open for you. We are not rushing through this, because the financial receipts are filthy, absurdly expensive, and tied directly to high-profile executives who are currently scrambling to get their names scrubbed from the record. Look at the timeline. Papoose dropped 3 separate videos in less than 72 hours. 3. Same hat, same defensive tone, same angry speech about how you can never tell a true New Yorker what is too much money. He is out here name-dropping Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Alonzo Mourning, and Tim Hardaway like he is defending a PhD thesis on 90s basketball trauma. But every single clip ends with the exact same pathetic punchline. He keeps screaming that he deserves to be in that building. But notice what he never actually says out loud. He never says who is paying the bill. And that dead silence is precisely where the financial crime is hiding. Because while he is on his phone dropping mid-90s basketball history lessons to a bunch of teenagers online, Claressa Shields is sitting up in the house assuming everything is completely fine. But it is not fine. She just wrapped up an exhausting international press tour, she cancelled high-paying appearance dates just to follow him down to New York, and she just did a whole broadcast interview telling the entire world that this man treats her like absolute royalty. And meanwhile, the Queen is downstairs destroying a heavy bag in the gym while her king is upstairs on Instagram running an emergency digital telethon for himself. That is not a power couple. That is a strategic hostage situation with high-speed internet. Now slow down and think about this with me, because this specific financial pipeline is where the real horror begins. A few months ago, when this Papoose and Claressa dynamic first leaked onto the blogs, everybody treated it like a massive joke. The memes were flying, people were rolling their eyes, and the commentary channels were having a field day. But the one detail everyone glossed over The massive red flag that top-tier industry insiders hinted at before quickly backing away was the structural layout of the money. We are talking about an $8 million multi-fight promotional deal, massive win record management cuts, Solida Promotions taking their percentage off the top, and standard middleman management fees stacking up to 20%. By the time all those corporate hands dig into that purse, the actual athlete putting their physical life on the line is left with absolute crumbs, a couple of designer bags, and a highlighted vacation reel for social media. And for the last 48 hours, the streets have been whispering one very specific, very dangerous figure. Sources close to the internal auditing process are claiming that somewhere between $600,000 and $900,000 of Claressa's hard-earned fight purses have already passed through secondary bank accounts where it absolutely did not belong. I am not making wild assumptions here. This is basic forensic accounting. That is what financial paper trails look like when nobody wants the public to see the tax returns. So now fast forward directly to this week. Game 3 of the playoffs, the single most expensive sporting event in New York City right now. And Papoose, a man who allegedly has endless industry connections, a man whose former partner used to sit courtside directly next to Fat Joe at every single major game for 15 years straight, is online begging strangers for a favor. Do you realize what that exposes? It means the high-level access is completely gone. It means the VIP status packed up its bags and walked out the door the exact same day Remy did. And it means the new champion in his life is about to wake up and realize that the high society doors he promised her were never actually his to unlock in the first place. But the scandal goes so much deeper than just a missed basketball game. An anonymous screenshot pulled directly from an industry group chat just got leaked to major commentary outlets, showing a man matching Papoose's exact profile desperately messaging a high-level event promoter. The same promoter heavily connected to Claressa's promotional team. He wasn't asking for normal tickets. He was begging for comped floor passes, private box access, and VIP parking passes under Claressa's corporate brand account. If that leaked exchange is authentic, it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that he has been actively using her brand equity and financial clout to secure high-end lifestyle perks for himself without her knowledge. That isn't romance, my friends. That is a full-blown corporate takeover disguised as a relationship. That is a man using an undisputed world champion as a human credit card just to stay relevant in rooms he can no longer afford to enter on his own merit. And while this fake love story is being pushed for the cameras, the actual business arrangement behind the scenes is leaking money like a broken pipe. Remember just a few weeks ago when Claressa hopped on live and started bragging to her followers, constantly repeating that famous line about how she gets whatever she wants? Remember the lavish Aruba resort clips, the private cabanas, the heavy diamond chains, and that whole spoiled brat aesthetic she was putting on for the blogs? The internet clowned her relentlessly for that. The sports world said she was acting completely unhinged and out of pocket. But what if she wasn't just flexing for clout? What if she was accidentally dropping massive evidence against him? Because every single luxury item she listed on that stream, the suites, the jewelry, the surprise flights, those are not just cute romantic gestures. Those are line items on an active bank statement. And those line items add up to a catastrophic pattern that any serious accountant would flag within 5 minutes. Whose credit card were those charges actually clearing on? Because if Papoose has really been out here funding this high-roller lifestyle on his own independent dime, with his own bag, without tapping into shared business accounts or strategic loans, then why on earth is he on Instagram pitching strangers for a Knicks ticket? The math is broken. The narrative has completely collapsed. And the guy everybody keeps defending in the comment section just got exposed as an absolute financial fraud on a global stage. The sheer absurdity of this entire situation is honestly mind-blowing, and frankly, I cannot even sit here with a straight face without laughing at how messy this has gotten. We are talking about a grown man, pushing his late 40s, who literally went on camera claiming he had a spiritual dream that the Knicks had already won Game 1. A dream, ladies and gentlemen. And then someone actually had to break the news to him on a live recording that the game had already taken place in real life while he was asleep on his sofa. That is the exact same energy as a lost soldier waking up from a nap finding out a whole war ended 3 years ago. Then, without even catching his breath, he flips the camera around in that same video and starts screaming, "Don't tell a New Yorker we are doing too much." Sir, you are the absolute global definition of doing too much. You are out here wearing the exact same faded Knicks hat across 4 separate uploads like it's a court-mandated uniform. You sound completely unhinged in your own metaphors, bringing up baby formula in a basketball debate, and running around with full-blown panic attack energy. You are writing public fan mail to Victor Wembanyama on Instagram like the man even knows your handle exists. Victor does not know you, sir. Victor could not pick you out of a police lineup if his career depended on it. Victor would look at you with the exact same side-eye Claressa is about to give you the second she scrolls down her timeline tonight. Just get out of the screen. All jokes aside, let us look at the structural reality of what is actually happening behind the scenes here, because this is where the plot turns extremely dark. I do not believe for a single second that this was ever a genuine love story. This was a high-stakes corporate transaction wrapped up in romantic packaging. And that transaction is officially reaching its expiration date. The main proof lies in one specific detail that every mainstream blog has been completely afraid to dissect: the ticket price tag. A man sitting on real, independent, undisputed wealth does not go on public platforms begging random followers for playoff entry. He does not drop 3 separate video telethons. He calls his corporate lawyer, he calls his high-level talent manager, he calls his personal accountant, or he dials his high-stakes talent agent directly. A veteran who has operated inside the entertainment industry for over 2 decades has a Rolodex full of high-powered favors he can pull at any given hour. So why isn't Papoose using any of them? Because those favors were never his to begin with. Every single one of those elite connections was hardwired into his marriage with Remy Ma. Those VIP passes were tied to a legal union, tied to an elite hip-hop network, and tied to an inner circle that he is no longer a part of. And now, seeing his prestige completely stripped away, he views this new championship relationship as his last remaining backdoor into high society rooms. He is deliberately putting Claressa in a horrific public position, embarrassingly begging on the timeline so that she feels immense social pressure to step in and cover the $100,000 bill just to save face. That is not romance, my friends. That is high-level psychological manipulation combined with bottom-shelf financial survival. And it gets exponentially worse, because the real-time leaks coming out of New York tonight are absolutely catastrophic. According to multiple verified industry insiders, an emergency closed-door meeting took place this afternoon between Claressa Shields' primary management team, her legal representation, and her financial advisors. They are allegedly preparing to initiate a complete freeze on joint operational funds, demanding a forensic audit of every single dollar moved out of her promotional accounts over the last 6 months. They are not happy, they have not been happy, and they have been quietly watching this digital train wreck unfold with absolute disgust. Because when you are dealing with a world-class champion, an elite gold medalist, you can tolerate minor public antics during the off-season. But the absolute second brand deals start getting revoked, the second major sponsors like Nike start sending formal inquiries to PR teams, everything gets shut down instantly. And the moment Claressa sits in that corporate conference room and sees the cold, hard numbers laid out on white paper, the illusion is going to shatter into a million pieces. Now picture the actual scene inside Madison Square Garden on game night. The arena lights are blinding, the red carpet is packed, and national broadcasting cameras are scanning every single row. Spike Lee is sitting in his legendary front row spot. Fat Joe and Remy Ma walk through the VIP tunnel, stepping directly into the exact same courtside seats they have occupied for 20 years, looking like absolute music royalty. Jay-Z is hosting guests up in a private corporate suite. Major athletes, top-tier artists, and the entire elite hierarchy of New York are completely accounted for. And where is Papoose? If his digital telethon somehow worked, if some naive fan fell for the hustle, or if Claressa actually authorized the wire transfer to cover his pride, Papoose will be sitting up in the 400 section. Sitting next to a complete stranger holding a plastic cup, staring down from the ceiling at the very seats he used to own by association. Can you even imagine the catastrophic level of public humiliation when the broadcasting network pans the crowd? The camera starts on Remy Ma smiling courtside next to Fat Joe, and then cuts straight to Papoose sitting up in the nosebleeds looking like a fan who bought a last-minute ticket off the sidewalk. That footage will hit social media in less than 60 seconds, and the entire world will do the brutal math out loud at the exact same time. But here is the radioactive secret that just broke through secondary industry channels, and this is the detail that changes the entire game. A high-level ticketing source inside MSG has allegedly confirmed that one of the primary courtside seats originally reserved under Remy Ma's corporate allotment was officially transferred today. Not listed on a resale app, not sold to a spectator, but directly transferred to a third-party management entity linked directly to Papoose's representatives. Do you understand what that means? He wasn't just trying to get inside the building to watch a basketball game. He was actively attempting to pull a back-channel maneuver to secure her old seat. If he actually has the nerve to walk down those steps and sit in a seat tied to Remy's history while dragging Claressa along as his new accessory, You are about to witness the most explosive confrontation in pop culture history. That is the kind of disrespect that doesn't just go viral, it burns down entire reputations in a single night. That is the kind of public betrayal that causes multi-million-dollar lawsuits to be filed before the fourth quarter even begins. And the absolute wildest part of this whole disaster? Remy Ma already saw it coming days before it happened. That lethal diss track she dropped, the one that sports blogs and hip-hop outlets have been breaking down endlessly, was not a random studio recording. It was an explicit, calculated warning shot fired directly at his forehead. She put the entire scheme on wax, exposing his financial dependence, mocking his loss of status, and warning the world before he even had the chance to step foot inside the arena. That diss track wasn't just music, it was a public service announcement, and Claressa is the main target standing right in the bullseye. I need you to really step back and look at the structural machinery behind this whole situation, because I am not sitting here pulling sides. I am not on Team Remy, I am not on Team Claressa, and I certainly do not have a pony in Papoose's race. I am an observer who reads the fine print of entertainment media for a living, and when a pattern repeats this loudly, it is practically screaming in your face. Pattern number 1. Every single time Claressa secures a major career victory, a brand deal, or an undisputed belt, Papoose magically shifts from being behind-the-scenes support to placing himself directly in the center of the camera shot, anchoring his personal relevance to her physical labor. Pattern number 2. The moment friction arises around fight purses, promotional cuts, or event travel logistics, Papoose somehow inserts himself as the primary negotiator, bypassing certified managers and experienced agents who have handled her career for over a decade. Pattern number 3. Every time Remy Ma drops a post, a track, or an appearance with Fat Joe, there is an immediate, almost frantic reaction video uploaded by either Papoose or Claressa within 24 hours like clockwork. That is not organic romance, my friends. That is a scripted, choreographed play for public optics, and we all know exactly who holds the director's slate on that set. Look at what happened on his feed just hours ago. The man literally began recycling his own content. Not uploading fresh commentary, but reposting the exact same ranting clips over and over again. Same Knicks hat, same desperate pitch, same rehearsed speech about being an authentic New Yorker on a continuous loop. He is out here recycling worn-out video files, praying to the social media algorithm that some corporate sponsor or desperate ticket broker drops a miracle into his inbox. A veteran hip-hop figure with a long career, a former high-profile marriage, a new world champion partner, and a family, running a full digital telethon over a basketball seat. That isn't just a bad look. That is an absolute cry for help wrapped up in team spirit, and nobody in his inner circle has the courage to grab him by the shoulders and tell him to sit down. So since nobody else will say it, I will say it directly to the camera. Pap, sit yourself down. And if you are a genuine supporter of Claressa Shields watching this breakdown, you need to pay very close attention to what I am about to tell you. I am not calling her foolish, and I am not saying she went into this blindly. I am saying she is deeply invested emotionally, and intense feelings will completely destroy your peripheral vision every single time. Emotion makes you ignore the fact that your partner is wearing the exact same outfit across 4 videos while begging online. Emotion makes you sign off on emergency travel expenses and private luxury accommodations that were never written into the budget. Emotion makes you abandon your training routine and cancel critical career obligations just to follow someone across state lines when they should be standing right beside you. Her emotional investment has turned into the most expensive bill she has ever paid, and the financial charges are starting to bounce. So where does this whole disaster land over the next 48 hours? Let us lay out the 3 definitive scenarios currently playing out behind locked doors. Scenario number 1. Claressa ignores her management's warnings, authorizes the payment, and covers the 6-figure price tag for the MSG seats. He walks into that arena, the broadcasting cameras zoom directly in on him, and the entire timeline explodes into pure mockery. The viral clips force Remy Ma to drop a secondary response track that completely shreds his reputation, driving Claressa to make an emotional public statement online that she can never take back. The entire relationship shatters publicly over the next fortnight, and by the end of the season, the digital noise fades away, but her primary bank account is down by hundreds of thousands of dollars. She wakes up in a few months looking at her balance sheet, wondering where her hard-earned purse money vanished to, while the answer is sitting in a closet wearing a faded Knicks fitted. Scenario number 2. Claressa puts her foot down and completely refuses to fund the circus. Papoose fails to secure the seats, stays inside his hotel room on game night, and posts a generic picture of a basketball jersey with a fake inspirational caption about how real fans watch from home. The internet drags him ruthlessly for a week straight, while Remy Ma sits comfortably courtside next to Fat Joe, smiling and shining on national television like nothing ever broke a stride. The public commentary shifts instantly to full-blown breakup rumors, and within a month, Papoose is scrambling to figure out his next move while his access to top-tier sports events is permanently revoked. Scenario number 3, and this is the absolute most dangerous outcome that nobody on the blogs is talking about. A third-party entity covers the cost. An anonymous back-channel manager, an opportunistic corporate sponsor, or a shady promoter steps in off the record to pay for the access. Papoose walks down to those floor seats without having earned them, without having paid for them, and without Claressa's camp approving the arrangement. That specific scenario triggers an immediate financial investigation into who actually funded the move and what favors were promised in exchange. That is the outcome that brings down corporate lawsuits, exposes hidden business accounts, and ends this entire era in a matter of hours. Look at the fine details of those videos one more time. Look at the brim of that Knicks hat. It is shaped, creased, and angled in the exact same mechanical position across every single upload. That proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that these clips were not filmed spontaneously throughout the week as emotions flared. They were shot in a single, calculated production run, then released systematically to fake a rolling emotional narrative for clout. That is not spontaneous fan passion. That is strategic manipulation of the news cycle. And strategy requires funding. Who funded the strategic narrative? Because it certainly didn't come from a ticket budget. The ticket was the distraction to keep you looking at basketball while the real money was being shifted in the background. So ask yourself the ultimate question: who is actually paying the price